Workouts for older men. Get ready with your questions. We'll be starting here in a moment. Thank you so much for being here. Get ready to tell me your name. Say hello. Tell me where you're watching me from. Tell me how old you are, too. I don't want to know how old the men are. Joining me here for Workouts for Older Men. So we'll be starting here in a moment. Thank you so much for being here. Get your questions ready. Also, when you get ready, be near your phone, your computer, so when you ask me a question, we can go back and forth. Right? I'm sure I'm going to have follow-up questions with you to give you more clarity, more understanding. Right? Let's take advantage of going live here. Also, make sure you follow, you like. Make sure you go to my skiplacour.com website. Everything we talk about here today, I'm sure I have a video that will support it over on skiplacour.com. Get on my email list too when you go to skiplacour.com. All right, so let's get started here. Hello, guys. Welcome to Workouts for Older Men Live. I am Skip LaCour. So glad you're here joining me today. When you come on, say hello. Tell me where you're watching me from. Make sure you follow, too. If you're a little bit older, you have a busy, productive life. You're looking all over the internet for this fitness information. I know how confusing it can be. Seems like all the information contradicts itself. Which are the best strategies for you? What's the best workout? What do you need? What's the best diet? I know what makes this different than any other workout. Well, if you are wondering how much your age is affecting your ability to build muscle or lose body fat, do you feel as though you used to be able to eat anything you wanted for some reason? Just look at a carb, anything you eat, and you're not even that much, but you're just building a body fat, can't lose that stomach. Can't lose those love handles. Man boobs, never really had those man boobs. Your chest wasn't shaped the way it was. It is now, wasn't when you were younger. Your testosterone levels, you're hearing all the time in social media, it's being pounded to you that your testosterone levels are dropping so dramatically. How is that affecting your ability to eat, lose that body fat, build muscle, your strength in the gym? Or does it have any impact at all? Or are those the loss of testosterone, its impact on your health and fitness, is that greatly over-exaggerated? Right, let's talk about that. You're just busy. You don't have all the time when you were younger to spend 2 hours a day in the gym, 5, 6, 7 days a week. Can you build muscle and lose body fat in less time when you know what you're doing? And what is that? What should you do? What's the best workout on your schedule? Maybe you are a little bit older, but you didn't work out at a gym consistently for years, right? You're just getting into it now. Where do you start, right? Should you go to a commercial gym? What do you need in your home gym? Wherever you are in life, right? How it relates to your fitness, that's what makes Workouts for Older Men unique. And I'm so glad you're here. So when you come on, say hello. Tell me where you watch me from. Tell me how old you are. If this information sounds like something you can use, make sure that you follow, you like. All right, I'm here for you every single morning at this time, 4 a.m. Pacific time, 7 a.m. Eastern time. I'll be here for about an hour, but it all depends on you, your energy. You're new here. My name is Skip LaCour. I'll be 62 years old here in a couple of weeks, and I've been doing this for 35 years at a very high level. Right, helping men like you pretty much from the start of these 35 years, and obviously taking that to a higher level. Dr. K is 51 from Orlando. So glad you're here, sir. Right, I'm a former 6-time national champion drug-free bodybuilder. That focus, that dedication to all the different training strategies, learning from the best, putting what I call a 15 out of 10 effort into all the strategies, so I can really differentiate what's important, what's not here at this age. I'm moving around, raising young kids. Got a daughter who'll be 11 in a month or so. Got a son who's 9, really into their personal development. I'm a student of personal development. I have been obsessed with personal development 6 years longer than I've been obsessed with my 35-year journey with fitness. Right, so it goes to 40 years. Take my parenting seriously with my kids, their personal development. We play all kinds of sports, their personal development, doing that travel. So a lot of men, you remember that. You were doing that 25 years ago. Probably why you didn't pay as much attention to your health and fitness, go to the gym. And now you want to incorporate it in life. You have the brain space now. I certainly respect that. I appreciate that. I want to help you differentiate what's important, what's not, as you're going through social media. I really want to make your time on this journey more efficient. Right? An inefficient way, just going all over the internet and getting more and more confused. Gynecologist 17 says, what are your thoughts on peptides like BBC 157? Okay, help recover from muscles and tendons. Don't know anything about peptides, anything like that. So I've done this journey drug-free. I have my reasons why I've done it drug-free, not on TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. I get feedback because I help out so many men. I've helped out thousands of men. Last 8 years, all I've done is focus on older men. So I can give you, their experiences, but I don't claim to be an expert. One thing you'll learn about me, I don't dive into areas that I don't know anything about. I don't try to fake it. I'll just, with an internet full of experts, I know it's a better avenue for you that you go to someone who is that expert. All right. So E. Taylor, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you being here, sir. Let me know if you're new here too. I assume, E. Taylor, that you're new. But let me know that for sure. Thank you so much for being here. Gary Wood, thank you so much for the follow. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, say hello. Also tell me if you're new. If this is just scrolling around that your screen, you're just on Facebook scrolling, you're on YouTube scrolling, and then you haven't subscribed or followed my page, but I just show up and I call your interest. Let me know that. Hey, thank you so much for the likes. Keep on hitting that like button. What that'll do here on TikTok, if you just keep on tapping that like button, not only will that give me energy, keep on coming back here every morning, helping you out any way I can, it's going to attract men like you. TikTok will say, hey, there must be something going on over there. Let's put more people just like you. They'll get the algorithm, get men just like you coming here. And then with the more men that we have here, just rapid fire, all your questions, you'll get more bang for your buck. The time that you do visit here with me, whether it's the entire hour or 10 minutes, there'll be more questions than answers, and then you'll get more while you're here. And hopefully men just like you, they'll ask questions that you didn't think of, but you need to know those answers too. Stump says, hey man, I'm 56. Any supplements you can recommend in conjunction with training? No, there aren't. There aren't any supplements that I can recommend. And let me tell you why. In my experience in 35 years working with owning a supplement company, I think that a lot of men greatly overestimate the value of supplements, what that will do, the impact that it'll make on their body. All right. They need to put more emphasis in taking their training to a higher level, and certainly their eating. A lot of men, they're working hard, they're showing up consistently, they're doing that part of it. But the biggest impact or a distinction here with their training and certainly with their diet, understanding how long things take and how this whole body fat building muscle, how the weight is supposed to happen and in what time frame. All right. That's going to make a gigantic impact on your body. And I just feel I'd be irresponsible uh, recommending supplements without knowing anything about you, right? And you assuming that you got those basics covered. Where I work with men all the time, a lot of smart men who get themselves looking good. Uh, they're looking pretty good. They're going to the gym on a consistent basis, but uh, learning more about nutrition and training before a pill, a supplement, where if you really understood its impact, and really the supplement can say this is to supplement in addition to proper eating and training. And a lot of men, even though they look pretty good, they know that the basics. That impact is going to be like, for example, a diet, losing body fat, getting it down from 23%. That's better than most men your age, down to 17. That's going to make the impact that you want to see in there, the end result, far more than any supplement will help you. All right. So that's the truth. And it's like a lot of information that you get here on the internet, just say about training, whatever it may be. And the presenter, the influencer, the coach, they'll make a video and they'll say, here are the top 3 reasons why you should do this for your back, to build your back and get a V taper. All right. And so, progressive overload, certain things, make sure you use better form and feel and execution. But the real thing you need to do to widen your back is going to be wide lat raises that are going to build muscle and meat on your back to make it wide, because you want to have that V taper. What you really need to do is lose body fat. If you look pretty good and you weigh 190 pounds, probably you're not going to build muscle and get up to 200 pounds. You're probably going to get down to 177 in reality. And that's going to get you lean and tight and separated. And it's going to give this illusion of size, quality muscle, devoid of the body fat. And when you lose, the body fat, the love handles, the meat on the back, that's what creates a V taper. So I kind of just give you real facts about what it would take to have a V taper, right? If you were to ask me that question. But there's really, when you're a little bit older, you have a busy, productive life, there's one of those 3 that really make up 95% of the answer. But you heard 3. I wonder which one you think has the biggest impact. Is it progressive overload? Is it the better exact technique? Or is it losing that body fat to create that V taper? Well, in that particular case, by far, for what you're trying to do, it's losing that body fat, right? Your structure is certain. So sure, you want to work the back muscles, and all those things are true, but there's one that really leads to the answer. And that's how you're being presented the information. It's up to you to be able to differentiate which importance on those 3 points. That's where you're making the mistake. That's what's keeping you from that next level, is your understanding. You're getting all this information, understanding the weight of what you're hearing, what you're doing. You may be doing it all, but it's you're not putting the right emphasis. And I'll tell you right now, you hear this all the time, right? It's your diet that's going to make the biggest impact on that person, that health, that fitness, that degree of leanness, even how big you look, appear muscular wise. It's going to be your diet and losing body fat. That's going to be the key to all this in most men who are a little bit older. All right. So, and that's what I want to help you do. I want to help you enjoy the training process, take that to the next level. All right. But I want to help you get to the results that you want. All right. Will says, today I did unassisted pull-ups and it really hurt my neck. Pull-ups did, huh? Always straining your neck while you're doing it, I guess. Never really heard that before. Let's see, Stomp21, thank you for the follow. Hey, thank you for the likes. Hit that tap that like screen. Again, to bring more energy in here, more rapid fire questions. You get more bang for your buck when you ask your questions, and men like you are all in here asking questions. We can use our time more efficiently. You can get more answers in less time. So tap that like button. Let's get that up to a few thousand this time that we have together, and bring some energy and some questions, all right, into today's show so you get more value. Is it better to use hammer strength versus the straight bench? Better, it's all about overloading, progressive overload. Now, technically, right? So So there's a level of knowledge that you need. You're a little bit older, busy, productive life. Maybe I've been in the gym for a couple of years or less. All right. Okay. So the information you need is you need to get in gym on a consistent basis. You need to understand overload. You need to understand intensity, that it's that one set that you hit that targeted muscle group, right? You go to almost failure. You don't just go use what I call the 3 sets of 10 mentality, meaning 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. Do another set, 10, another set to do 10. It's not how this is done. It's like effort. Like when you put that weight down, it's not just because you reach 10, because there's no more in you. There should be a rep range. It should never be 10 that you're shooting for. It's 8, 9, or 10, and 8 to 10 rep range, so you can balance that weight with effort. You're not always just going to hit 10. All right. If you're just hitting 10, there's probably more you can do. You probably need to lift weights. So it's that intensity. It's one set at a time. That's the key. I don't care if you use a dumbbell, barbell, machine, resistance bands, doing push-ups, body weight. But whatever it is you use, you're going to have what it's called progressive overload. It's got to be more challenging, not just more reps, more weight. That's what it takes to build muscle. All right. So let's get back to, we want to know a hammer strength machine or a flat bench press, right? The more hardcore you get in your information, the more they start going beyond the basics. Where it's just what I said: progressive overload. No matter what you use, machine, barbell, dumbbell, whatever exercise you use for that body part, that's the key. That takes up 80-90% of what you're trying to do. So that makes a machine versus a dumbbell or barbell flat bench press less important, because they'll both work, right? But if you think it's a machine now, there's an old school mentality, right? That dumbbells and barbells and free weights are far superior than machines. That may have been true 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and it's stuck around. It certainly takes more skill and more confidence in what you're doing to use dumbbells and barbells to hit that targeted muscle group effectively. Definitely takes more skill. If you can do that, right, go down that route. All right. But you can get a great workout on a hammer strength machine to work the chest. And for a lot of older men, you do it more safely. Don't need spotters. You can do it with more certainty and confidence. It can keep you in that group, hit that targeted muscle group. So you can, they both work, right? If you are more skilled, if you're old school, if you want to perfect this is more than just building muscle and losing body fat. This is, it's an art form that you want to take. You want to see how good you can get with all the details. Then, work on your skills with dumbbells and barbells. I get that. But if you're just here to overload muscle, build muscle, lose body fat, get the hell out of here, live a busy, productive life like most of the men who I focus on with workouts for older men, you can do a great job with that hammer strength machine and all machines. In most cases, they can get the job done. Quick story about that too. I was way back when I first started just really focusing on older men, and that brought me to a whole new group of men who didn't know me from my 30 years previous in the bodybuilding world, writing for the Muscle magazine. They had no idea I was a champion bodybuilder or anything I've done in the past. They just typed in workouts for older men, found me. Hey, this guy looks good. He seems like he knows what he's talking about. So I remember I had a coaching client, and he signed up. We went on a journey. Now, he was rather new to it. Like I said, if you're just kind of getting into this a year or less, you're right in the right place. Even though I've been doing this for 35 years, even though I was a bodybuilder, I know you don't want to be a bodybuilder. What we have in common is our age, our values, our mindset, our sense of urgency, how we're living our life, how we're going to sprint to the end. We got more time behind us than in front of us. That's the commonality, and we do it through fitness, right? You don't have to be a bodybuilder. I get that. I understand that. And hopefully I'm showing you that I'm coming to where you are and where you need to get to, not to make you a bodybuilder. And I can only say this information for bodybuilders. Hopefully that's apparent. You should feel comfortable here. Those are the men who I cater to, even though I was a bodybuilder. So let me make that clear. And so, I just remember, he after we were together for a couple of weeks, he called me and he said, "Hey, I just want to apologize." I said, "What for?" And he said, "I really didn't know who you were." I said, "Well, what's that mean? I'm here to give you yours." He goes, "Well, I was at work and I was in the locker room. Guy said I was looking so good, what I was doing, and I told him I had a coach, and he said, "Well, it's Coach Skip LaCour." Skip LaCour, I used to follow him since I was a kid, as a bodybuilder. So I just want to apologize. I didn't know who you were. I know I thought that was funny, but it doesn't matter who I am. It's about him getting those results that it's about. But I remember him when in the beginning when we were talking, and I had that same conversation about free weights versus machines. And he said to me, he goes, "No," a slight accent, I remember, and he said, "No, I've read, and Arnold says that free weights are far superior than machines. So I just want to use free weights because Arnold said that, right?" Right. And I had him. I said, "Hey, Can you Google Arnold current training?" And if you see Arnold, he's a little bit older. He's got a busy, productive life with everything that he does. Still in great shape for his age. And if you see that, boom, 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 every single workout. I don't think I've ever seen Arnold most recently in training ever even pick up a dumbbell or a barbell. None. So if it's so superior, see, he certainly has the skill. All he is goes from machine to machine to machine, gets the hell out of there. So if someone who made a career and was one of the greatest bodybuilders in the world, the most knowledgeable, used dumbbells and barbells, now that he's a little older, all he uses machines with all his knowledge. You should feel comfortable too using machines. So that's everything you need to know and a lot more when it comes to machines versus free weights, training overload, building muscle, and looking good, building body fat now that you're a little bit older. So I hope that's helpful. Great question. All right. I'm looking for a good multivitamin. You know what? I want to help you really know more about your eating habits. All right. If you don't have the right eating habits, I don't just mean stay away from certain foods and use portion control, right? Because get you can get what you need from your eating. Most men do not understand what they need to understand about nutrition. I'm not talking about you got to be some PhD nutritionist or anything like that, right? Again, the challenge I have with recommending supplements are the supplements are for the elite. Supplements are for those who have done everything. They have an understanding, a consistency, and follow through when it comes to training and nutrition. And then that will supplement good eating. That will supplement good eating and workouts and understanding what it takes to be healthy and fit. That transformation that we want to see. And then supplements, right? I don't want to be irresponsible and say, tell you, first of all, I don't know. I have no idea. I've worked with many supplement companies, been to many plants around the world. I understand the processing completely. All right. There's a lot of good people in the supplement business, right? A lot of people I respect. But here is where the disconnect. What you think will supplements do and what they're telling you. They can tell you with 100% integrity, look, these are the finest ingredients. We have strict testing. You're getting what you say. We take a lot of pride, great packaging, right? Great customer service. They can stand behind everything with 100% integrity, doing what they say, right? But if you overvalue what a multivitamin will do and you're not taking care of your basic nutritional needs, right, then they've done what they've promised, and that's give you high quality supplements. It's you've exaggerated what it will do for you so much that you're not taking care of the training and the eating. And so you're really just wasting your money, right? So, I can answer any questions about supplements. You'll see. I don't even consider protein powder a supplement. I just consider that a macronutrient that it's easy for you to get the important protein and fewer calories. Now, if you were asking me which supplement company has the best protein, I don't know anything about their manufacturing or anything about it or their integrity to give you any recommendations of what's in the bottle. I can just talk about protein powder. It's up to you to read about the company and to make your judgment. What you think about about what they're putting in the bottle, because with 100% integrity, I couldn't tell you. All right. But I don't consider protein powder even a supplement. That's a food, just in a different form and with fewer calories, making it convenient. All right. Creatine is a supplement that a lot of people have questions about. Even they exaggerate what it does, but it delivers on its promise. But I think men really don't know what it does. And, beyond that, I don't have a whole lot of supplements to even talk about. All right, so let me get back to your questions. Thank you so much for the likes. Keep on tapping that screen. Get more men. It'll get more men just rapid fire questions, great questions like the one that you're asking today. So we'll get more in our time together. I come to you every single morning at 4 a.m. Pacific time, 7 days a week, 7 a.m. And my job is to give you as much information and inspiration now that you're a little bit older, help you with your health and fitness goals. All right, so let's get more in here. Good morning, Mr. Fitness, over on YouTube. You're new to your channel. Mr. Fitness, how did that work? Were you just scrolling through? You're not subscribed yet. Hopefully you're subscribed now. You're just scrolling through on YouTube. And because obviously you're Mr. Fitness, you weren't subscribed to my channel. And then it just showed up on your feed. All right. Let me know, because that's something that Facebook and YouTube are doing makes a big difference in how I present this, right? That's something that happens on TikTok all the time. Hey, thank you so much for the likes. Thank you so much for the follows too. All right, let me get to some of these questions here. Talk W7, age to start TRT, or levels of T you think you should start thinking about getting on TRT. I don't think you should ever think about TRT. And I know on TikTok, you get the impression that TRT is just some vitamin, or it's just something everybody's going to eventually have to get on, or everybody needs. Let me tell you why that is that you got to understand a fitness influencer, they don't say, I'm going to start doing videos one day and I'm going to get paid for all my time, right? And then I become a fitness influencer who's going to tell you about TRT. That's not how it works. You get someone who's going through the journey himself for his own personal gain. He's more committed than 80% of the men working out in the gym. And then he has more and more time. He just loves it with his passion, first of all. He's skewed. He's extreme. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you got to understand, the person who is telling you, just take TRT, man, he's way over. His values and his priorities in life probably aren't even anything close to you. What he wants, what he needs, what's important to him may not be anything important to you. If you're busy, you got a productive life, you've been working out for a couple of years, you just want to build muscle and lose body fat. So sure, he looks great. For him, it's everything in the world. Why would he want to have anything less than, so much? You got to have testosterone. You don't need that much testosterone. He needs it for what he's trying to do, but he's a fitness influencer. His fitness, for whatever reasons, I'm not judging, is everything in the world to him. It's not everything in the world to you. So what you need to do is learn how to train, okay, effectively. You know how to eat. You need to how to lose that body fat, and you're going to look amazing, whatever your testosterone levels are. I mean, that isn't something that going into it, right? Well, hey, when I'm going to get fit, I'm going to learn about training, nutrition, and get on that TRT. That's how it's becoming. All right, because you got to understand, fitness, it's all we think about, right? It's the most important thing to us. It's not the most important thing to you, right? It's not just like taking a vitamin, right? Regardless of what they say, they're on it, right? They're enjoying the benefits. Once you make a decision like TRT, you got to focus on all the benefits. You can't constantly look around like any decision in life. Once you make that decision, you got to be all in. You got to understand, they've done the risk of it, the need, risk versus reward, the medical drawbacks to it, because everything has a drawback to it. They're not mentioning that at all, right? They're all in, and that's the way they should look at life. But that's not very responsible when all you're doing is seeing very skewed, committed, passionate, fitness people, it's their whole life for whatever reason, without your values, how you prioritize things. And they've made that decision, right? So now you come on, okay, let me type here on TikTok or YouTube and, okay, training, eating TRT because I'm 35. That shouldn't be a question that you're asking right from the start, right? Even if your testosterone levels aren't that, you can live an amazing life. It isn't like the more testosterone, the more amazing life you have. And it isn't even really like the more testosterone, the more muscle you have. But here's the other thing about it. Even when you build more muscle and lose body fat, man, that's just one part of this whole journey of happiness and fulfillment. All right. So I don't think there's an age you should start thinking about. You might be able to just build muscle, lose body fat, look good, look lean, live a healthy life, and it won't matter what your testosterone levels are. Okay, so what do you think is most important? What's the most important trait when wanting to achieve a person's dream physique? It's a really good question. Of course, it's really being connected. Why is this so important to you? Why is this so important to you? And I know this sounds kind of hokey and corny. You got to know your why. You hear all that, but really, that's what it comes down to. What's that body going to do for you? What do you expect? I mean, as long as you believe it to be true, you will be resourceful. You'll be watching my live videos. You might get one-on-one coaching with me because you're so connected to why having that dream physique is so important to you, right? So you might say that, like, why is this guy getting up it's 4 o'clock in the morning? He's got to get up at 3:30. He doesn't even take weekends out 7 days a week. Why? Why? What's his why? Why is he doing this? It's the same thing with your dream physique. And the reasons why I would do something like that might be interesting. But the more you know how a guy is wired, why it's important, all the different reasons, and it may not be obvious reasons. I'll tell you why. And again, I'm just saying this little story. You learn a little bit about me and the information, what perspective is being presented. But you can think a little bit deeper on why you want that dream physique and what is it going to promise. Because if you believe it's going to deliver all these amazing, great things in your life, and you really help you get out of certain pain, you really believe it. I mean, really intensely. You're going to have self-doubt from time to time, right? You're going to get up at 4 o'clock. You're going to work out even when you don't feel like it. You're going to get coaching, all right? You're going to watch your nutrition. You're going to do the things that you don't really want to do, as far as training, or more emphasis on your eating, or not eat the pizza. The more clear, that's going to have a great payoff, pleasure, and get you out of pain. I really think for any achievement, if you were watching, keep on scrolling on TikTok or Facebook and YouTube, whatever it is your interest is, and you want to be better at this, we're talking about a dream physique, right? The more clear, focused, and then information doesn't, the journey isn't filled with as much uncertainty. That's constantly challenging your motivation. You're constantly clear. The better information you get, I offer simple and effective, right? Not all the bells and whistles that take you down a rabbit hole that are interesting, but it's not what you need. And for you, it's complicating everything. For someone who's all into this is everything in the world, they want to know about all those little details. It's not going to get it. More details are better. They're on a little journey, a little adventure, a lot of their identity, a lot of, that's their hobby, right? I'm not saying you can't enjoy this whole fitness thing, but if you don't have that secret sauce, like you're wired to more, and you take the strategies from someone like that. And trust me, I was like that for 15 years. All I thought about, do a Google, do a Google search, and you can see my body of work, right? So I get it, but those values, those priorities, that's not going to work for you. It's going to overwhelm you, and that's what's happening with a lot of it. You're taking information from people who are really passionate, and they don't see it in another way. It's good. It's great energy. They look great. I'm not saying the information isn't going to help you. But you're skipping over the things, and it's confusing you. The more confused, uncertainty, overwhelmed with the information that you have, it's going to constantly tax your motivation and drive. It's going to muddle your clarity of why you're doing this. So, number one, it starts with why this is so important to you. A lot of men who go on this journey and they have themselves sold at this dream physique. It's going to give me more confidence for what? More love, more connection, make me live a longer life for my family, keep me in the job market, give me more energy to keep on fighting with the young bucks. I don't know. Maybe it's you accomplished so much with your business and your family provided great wealth for your family and a company, the members of the company that you built. Some amazing things. You've raised some amazing children, whatever it is. But one thing, you're just sick and tired of that body. It's not congruent with the man you think you are. It's just your personal thing. I've achieved this. I've achieved that. I'm going to finally get this body under control, even though I'm in my 50s. And it may seem impossible, but intellectually, you've accomplished a lot of things that are probably tougher than the body. You just need to put that focus on it, right? That could be your drive. But knowing why this is so important to you, you might find out halfway through the journey that just a 3/4 version of your dream physique is enough, and then you move on to other things. I don't know why losing that body fat is important to you. Mastering, feeling more in control of this journey, having less confusion, overwhelm. I don't know why it's important to you, but I want to help you build that muscle, lose that body fat, have more comfort in the process for whatever the reason it is for you. But I do think that one, being really connected to why it's important is probably the most important trait. I got to tell you, if you really to break down, keep on scrolling through TikTok, whether it's someone's, I don't know, like those gentlemen. And again, I'm going to have a show at night, Confidence for Older Men. It's going to tie in with fitness. I already have some guests and co-hosts lined up, some amazing guys who are older. And one gentleman, he's an Airbnb guy, right? Created great wealth. He talks about other interesting things too. And he'll tell you why he's wired this way, right? Why he created so much wealth. And he tell you, it didn't come from necessarily a good place, something to prove. That's the secret sauce to any achievement, having your dream physique, making $1 million, having great kids and a great family. The secret sauce is pain, pleasure, just this internal storm that's focused in one direction, right? That's what you need to take care of first, right? And then I can help with the most effective and efficient strategies, right? So I think that's the most important trait when a person wants to achieve their dream physique. I hope that's helpful, right? I stress how important resistance training is to building muscle. Stress how important resistance training. Okay, well, the body, if you want to build muscle tissue, right, it's not going to build what it doesn't need. So a lot of guys say, well, I can't go to a gym. I don't have a home gym. What if I just really discipline and work my chest doing push-ups, right? Well, that's good. Your body weight, it's going to be challenging. I don't know I don't really know, because it's so much more efficient to use weight to overload the muscle, to break it down and to manage to grow, right? I don't know what it would take if you just did push-ups. There's going to be a certain point where you can do that easily. More reps isn't going to do it, 100 reps, right? It's just not enough weight anymore. And that's where weight training comes in, right? Progressive overload. Body's not going to grow. It's not going to build more tissue until you create that demand and consistently, right? So it's not going to grow muscle just because you want it to, and not just with not using it, right? You got to break it down, and it's got to repair to grow over time. So that's why you got to give your all that one set, and ask a little bit more, not necessarily more volume, but more intensity, better form, feel, and execution, mind muscle connection. In addition, to challenge yourself with one more rep, 5 more pounds. That's what builds muscle. What are your impressions of the younger generation of men and their drive of working out? So I've been in gyms for 35 years. What I think, the culture that I get, and I think it's become social media, I see a lot of guys who aren't hardcore bodybuilders, right? I see them in the locker room, doing bodybuilding poses. I could tell that, well, maybe they're younger in the journey. They don't want to be a bodybuilder, but they're influenced by really passionate people out there filming their workouts, right? More ambitious than them. I see I see it as a lot younger kids who know what they're doing a lot more, and I see a lot more energy. It kind of makes me feel old, like when I went through my journey. It seems like most of the men were like about my age, where now I see a definite, like 20-year-olds, 22-year-olds. It seems to me, from my impression, there's a lot more 20 people in their 20s that are taking this more serious, having a good time, making it a part of their life. And if you expected me to say, "Oh, that was young man, yo, get that ball off my lawn," no, that's not how I see it. Actually, I'm kind of impressed how young they are and how much they're into it. And I really attribute that to social media. Young people looking for something to do, and they see a lot of people having a good time, having fun with their gym crushes. I see some guys even doing a lot of skits when it comes to, it's like an office, type talking to the camera and the zooming in and the switching from one person's point of view. There's a lot of people having a lot of fun with this whole fitness thing in younger, and I see that carrying into the gym from the younger generation. So that's what I see. Right. I wonder if that's what you were expecting me to say. Right. Dexter, thank you for the follow. Thoughts on baking soda? Don't have any experience with baking soda before a workout. Don't have any experience with that. Out of tune. Thank you for the follow. And I'll tell you this, until I got on TikTok, never even heard of that. 35 years. Never. I've been in the supplement industry, work with many supplement companies, never even heard of it until I got on TikTok, and never even heard it probably until like 6 months ago. All right. So take that for whatever it's worth. So you might have found the secrets to the magic that only the select few know about, or whatever you might think. Josh, how do you get out of plateau at age 47? Great question. That might be the question of the day. So when you watch the replay version in TikTok, watch the replay version of this show, because I know you might be coming in and out, staying for 10 seconds or for 10 minutes, and there's no way to watch these the replays of these live shows. But you can go to my YouTube channel, and that's at Skip LaCour, or my Facebook page at Skip LaCour page, and you can watch this in its entirety, maybe the next commute you have or the next long cardio session that you have. So how do you get out of a plateau at 47? All right. 47, 27, 17, whatever. All right. Plateaus are the same thing. There's so many different ways so plateau in terms of this, I think you guys understand that, but you're stagnant. You're not making any improvements. You're doing the work. Nothing's happening. All right. Well, that's a matter of perspective, because number one is when you are building muscle, a lot of guys, especially if they've had a good start, all right, they just started working hard. They may have gained a significant amount of size and what they think is muscle. You add some body fat to that and watch what they eat. If they lose body fat, the illusion that it creates because of the body fat they lose, some muscle that they gain right from the start, they may think, wow, 6 months and I'm going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger because of such a great start they got off to. All right. So just like with everything, it's going to slow down, but that does not mean you're not building muscle with all that weight training. So that plateau may be you just not understanding the growth, your expectations at that time. All right. You got to assume that if you are overloading the muscle, you are happy with your workouts, you're hitting those target muscle. If you're consistent, you understand what intensity is, and you're taking your level of understanding, your reps, weight, the feel of it to higher and higher levels. You're backing it with a sound of nutritional habits to support it as possible. You got to assume that you're doing whatever it takes to build muscle. But here's the thing. Some guys think they're going to build pounds of muscle in the next month or so. I've even heard on TikTok, they make those promises. Just train like this, use my training program, just eat this much protein, and you're going to, I don't even know, some ridiculous claims of like 2 pounds of muscle in a week or something like that, right? You may gain 2 pounds, a lot of it water. If you overeat, it's going to be fat, but you're not going to gain 2 pounds of lean, like a steak, a 2-pound steak. And just a week, 2 pounds of it, again, I want to help you have the right perspective and the right expectation. At the same time, I don't want to kill your motivation. Well, why am I doing this, right? A lot of guys, it's a tap dance, right? It's a game, giving them a realistic understanding of how this works and what they can expect, and not killing their motivation to even do this. Like, why am I even doing this? I'm not going to build a couple pounds of muscle in a week. Well, that's what I wanted. Why? And then why am I even doing this, right? So it may be ounces and not pounds. And if it's ounces, you're gaining the ounces that you should. But if you're not lean enough, you'll never know. You'll never know. Most men here, to have the dream physique that they want, they're probably going to weigh a lot less on the scale, meaning a lot less body fat. And the muscle they do have will just, it'll look amazing. It'll feel separated. It's visible. Each body part separates it from giving this illusion of size. That's the route that pretty much any man who's a little bit older needs to take. And it's not like 190. I know I've got some body fat. I'm going to train real hard, lose some body fat, and I'll lose 10 pounds of body fat and gain 10 pounds. So when I have my dream physique, I'm going to be 190. It's not going to happen that way. It's not going to happen that way. You may have said, no, you're wrong, Skip. I ate and I trained and I got up to 210. Yeah, but you have too much body fat. Yeah, well, I'm gonna lose it. But every time I lose it, I lose all my money. You never had that muscle. It was just marbled with fat. So if you don't understand that, it isn't I'm 190, I'm gonna lose 10 pounds of fat. I'm gonna gain 10 pounds of muscle. And when I finally look at that mirror in probably some ridiculous amount of time, like 6 months, I'm gonna weigh 190. The truth of the matter is you're probably gonna gradually lose body fat over that time when you know what you're doing. And you might weigh 178. No, I've never been that light. I've never been under 185 in my entire life. I wouldn't weigh 179 or whatever number I said. Well, because you never look the way that you want it either. And that thinking, you're never going to look that way. You're not going to build that much muscle tissue to make the transformation. You're going to do what you can to build that muscle. Right? Then you're going to shed that body fat. And if you finally get to the other side, then you'll understand. Most men don't understand. They're so confused with the journey that they stay fluffy or they just lose motivation, right? So that's the thing about a plateau, right? There's so many different ways that you're really not a physical plateau. There's a muscle building plateau. There's a fat loss plateau. There's a training taken up to higher intervals plateau. And then this just general enjoyment of the journey for its health and fitness plateau. Right? If you're doing this for weeks and you're doing some cardio, eating right, you're not plateauing. You're getting healthier and healthier and healthier at 47. So at 47, we got to think of a man our age, what's appropriate. Why are we doing this? For health and longevity. 47 might be an age, I don't know, that you're kind of still hanging on to build muscle, lose body fat mentality. Right? I posted something on my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, and I said something, do you avoid processed foods? Right? And I'm talking about the health part of it, right? Do you trust what's in the food? Do you think they have your best interests in some of these foods, right? And he said, I don't worry about it. It's just too hard to get my protein, carbs, fat, calories, blah, 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 blah. Just thinking from a muscle fat loss point of view. And then you got to grow up sometime and build your muscle, lose your body fat. But there's got to be that shift that we're doing for health and longevity, where he was just looking at about, I'll eat whatever. I'm not even concerned with its health, what it does inside, the chemicals inside, or are they overlooking certain things so this food lasts longer on the shelf, or are they doing something to taste better to get you and young kids addicted to it? Do you just have the blind faith that, in our systems, or do you think when money's involved that it may overlook a couple of things? Do you blindly trust our food supply? Do you avoid processed foods, right? And all the health, that's what I'm talking. But all he saw was protein, carbs, and fat, calorie deficit, building muscle, losing body fat. That isn't what I was talking about. So that younger person's mentality, you got to kind of, a 25-year-old doesn't think he'll ever be 60 years old. And if he does, I'll worry about that then. Life is over. You know what it's like. Sometimes at 47, you think about somebody who's 62 even, right? So, how you approach this is going to determine how you look at it, even with a plateau, because there's so many different ways that you're probably not plateauing. Number one, so let's start with that last point. If you're going to the gym consistently, you're even if you're not building your ounces and you're not building pounds, even if you are, right? Then you get to a certain age, it's use it or lose it. And the older you get, you're missing out on a window to build the muscle. So you're at least fighting to maintain it because you're going to need that muscle later. Knowing that, you're never plateauing if you have that long-term vision. Just the fact that you're, doing cardio work in your cardiovascular system, your lungs, your heart. Who cares about building muscle and losing body fat? So every day you go to the gym, every day you eat right, you're lengthening the quality of your life, hopefully, right? So how can you plateau when you have that mentality? Again, if you're overloading the muscle, you got to trust that you're building the muscles, and you may just not see it when you're not lean enough. Getting leaner, that's a big part of this. If you're 23% body fat and in clothes, you're going to look better than most men your age, right? But most men our age don't even work out, right? So it's getting to 17%, 15%, if that's what you want, all right? That's going to show that muscle you have. And you realize all this time I thought I was plateauing, that muscle just wasn't visible. So you can take your loss of body fat, decreasing body fat. That can break you out of this plateau. So really, with all the different elements, physical, mental, emotional, long-term health-wise, building muscle, displaying muscle, preserving muscle, really, there is no way to plateau. That is a wrong framing. And hopefully I helped you reframe that there is no way that you're plateauing. Your enjoyment of it, the systems that you create that make it easier, right? You find the foods that are tasty and are, say, consistent, help you build muscle and lose body fat. There's always a higher level to this. And when you're learning it, you're going for it. There's no reason to plateau. It's just a matter of perspective. And I hope that's helpful. That's a great question. All right. Good morning, Brad. Thank you for being here. Carlos, thank you for the follow. Hey, thank you for those likes. Thanks for hitting the screen. I really appreciate you here. Let's talk to Facebook. Jeff, good morning, sir. So glad you are here. Mr. Fitness, which is better, more cardio or clean eating to lose real body fat? Clean eating, and not necessarily clean eating, not clean food, but understanding calorie intake, calorie deficit, eating as much food as humanly possible while you're gradually losing body fat so you can optimize your nutrition. So it's not clean eating like eat a chicken breast boiled, right, versus dark meat, tasty chicken, right? One would be cleaner than others when it comes to protein, carbs, and fats and calories, how much you need, how consistent you are, what it takes to optimize your metabolism. Clean, dirty, somewhere in between, that has nothing to do with the body fat. So clean eating, good nutritional habits are far more superior than even cardio, and certainly weight training. So you need to not get that twisted. Brad says, I agree with what you are saying. I gained 20 pounds of bad weight. Now I need to lose it, right? Now it's really important. I've got if you go to my skiplacore.com website, there's a video I have just for you where I explain, only watch this if you feel you're losing all your muscle when you try to lose body fat, because it's a big illusion. What's body fat? What was muscle? And most men, don't ever get that right. So they stay fluffy. They stay at that 23% body fat. And because of that, they'll never have the body that they want. Alex over on Facebook. Good morning, sir. So glad you're here. Hey, let me take a couple moments here where really I'm gonna extend, it's Saturday, right? Extend this show a little bit as long as there's interest here. A lot of men, they're sick and tired with their body. They're the type of men who get what they want. They've worked hard for it. A lot of the other areas of life are all taken care of or at a very high level. What they see in the mirror, their level of health isn't congruent with the man who they see, and they're just sick and tired of it, and they want to take action. A lot of men, whether this is the first time or the fifth time they watch my live videos, they like what I'm presenting. Thank you so much for the follow, gynecologist 17. Right, so they want to take it. How can I get a hold of you? Right, so I make myself available, right, every single morning, and I usually have about 3 or 4 men who just take action. They're the type of men how I described. I've got a 2-step process, and I'll reach out to you, get you set on your biggest fitness challenge. Right, so it's on the screen there. The first step is to text me at the number above, 925-352-4366. Text me, just introduce yourself. Hey, I'm Joe. I saw you on Facebook. I saw you for the first time on YouTube, Mr. Fitness. I saw you for the first time, Gynecologist 17, on TikTok. So just introduce yourself and then text me a picture. Okay, whatever you feel comfortable is fine. You don't have to take your shirt off. If you wore a t-shirt like this, I can see a lot of things about your physique that just doing this for so long, helping out so many men. So whatever you feel comfortable with, text me a picture. Picture tells me 1,000 words. You may be being way too hard on yourself. You may be way too easy on yourself. You may, if you describe yourself to you and your situation, you may be right on, but a picture will really help me help you. Then go to talkwithskip.com. Talkwithskip.com. Punch that in. It'll take a second or so to bounce over to my skiplacore.com website. I have some very skilled questions that have helped me help a lot of men like you. All right, so fill out all the questions, fill them out thoroughly. All right, fill them out thoroughly. You'll see the questions will really get you clear on what it is you want and need and the journey you've been going through and some of the frustrations, but it's really going to get me clear. So I've got a picture. You've texted me the questionnaire. You'll get a copy too when you press submit. Now I've got everything I need. I'll text you. I'll call you. We'll set up some time to talk. I'll spend some time on your number one challenge. You know, what you're doing. Maybe you just need some validation, certainty that you are on the right path because you hear so many things that seem like they're conflicting. Maybe I'll make some adjustments, but more importantly, I'll tell you the time frame that you can expect changes. When you do this right, when you do it in a sustainable manner, the time frame that it takes probably takes longer than what most men think. So they're doing everything right. It just feels like it's wrong. And so because of that, they bounce around from routine to routine or diet to diet, or they quit on one or both just because they don't understand how long the process takes. That's one thing that I can get clear for you in our time on the phone. So again, if you're the type of man who does what it takes to get what he wants, right, go ahead and text me at the number 925-352-4366. Right. Then go to talkwithskip.com. Go to talkwithskip.com. Fill out that questionnaire. I'll have everything I need. Then we'll set up some time to talk. Right. Sound good? And if you think, well, that's a good idea, but you know this isn't the time. Right. Just let it marinate. When you really get sick and tired, a week from now, 2 weeks from now, maybe that's the time that you'll reach out to me. That's fine. Right. What's great about who the men who I talk to, who watch workouts for older men live, who visit my website, they don't want to waste my time. They respect my time. They respect their own time. So if it's not your time, that's cool. That's great, right? Because there's plenty of other men who it is their time. Maybe they've been watching a little bit longer through maybe their conditions. So I'll be here. I'll be here for you. All right. I got many ways to help you reach your goals. If you're a little bit older, right? I take men through a 12-week transformation journey. Very productive where you're one-on-one with me for weeks. Not only do you learn what to do, you get more certain with your workouts. You know, getting a workout plan, you know, that's relatively easy. You know, a workout plan. That's not as complicated, you know, as like a lot of men might think. But for you, I know it's important to you, right? A workout plan, a diet that you can feel comfortable with, right? But after, you have that, right? Now it's got to be, you got to feel certain about it. And as you're making the changes, you want to stay focused on it, right? It seems different, even if it's the right thing. So, that accountability every single week. So it gets ingrained into your mindset, your lifestyle, with everything you've got going on. Having that accountability week to week to week. What I promise, after 12 weeks, if you're so confused, you're so frustrated because you seem like you're working, I just can't get together. There's something missing. You'll be certain about what to do. All right. If you were to go on social media and you're looking and you hear about training advice or diet advice, you'll know how to differentiate. You'll see, well, directionally, they're right. This is the best for me. It's not going to distract you anymore. You can just watch social media for the inspiration, the mindset to keep you driving forward. But it won't be a matter of information. You're going to be certain with what it takes. I'll tell you, it might be a lot more simple than you think. I do this tap dance because some men, they're really hard drivers. They're these type A personalities, and that's the way they like to do everything. It's just that if they're not putting that intensity on the right things, they're not going to get the results. They're going to have a lot of activity, do a lot of things right, but they won't put it together. And sometimes it's just a little tweak, lightening up, or just taking some of that intensity off here and putting it right here where it needs. It's a lot more simple. Sometimes I feel like I am these type A personalities, and I get that. I consider myself one. I feel like I'm letting them down because I didn't give them a complicated solution to finally have the body that they wanted. It's something they would have continued to overlook forever, and it's something basic. They almost feel disappointed. It's not complicated. So, and I'll tell you something. If that sounds like you, that's a lot of fitness that they feel the pressure to make it complicated. Because I guess most people think if it was something easy, they would have figured out. That's not necessarily true. So you got to be really outcome driven. Do I finally want to have the body that I want? Do I want to be able to do it effortlessly? Well, not effortlessly, but it goes along smoothly with my lifestyle, so I can keep that intact without me becoming a fitness influencer. So there's a lot of mental and emotional to all this, and you'll get really clear being accountable week by week by week. And for 12 weeks, immersing yourself in the process. 12 weeks will come and go. But it's priceless, the way that you'll feel and you have an understanding. So if you've got this albatross around your neck when it comes to fitness, it's just you're sick and tired to have done so well in your life, but this fitness sucks, this body that you're carrying on, all right? I just think after 12 weeks, putting in the work, learning, going through a transformation, being accountable to someone who really cares about you and knows how to take it there to unravel all of this. What did it feel like to have that sense of certainty for the rest of your life? So then it's just a matter of doing it, not how to do it. All right. Jaco, thank you so much for the follow. So check that out at skiplecour.com/transformation. Thank you so much for the likes. I really appreciate that. Mr. Rizzo, thank you for the follow. Lost 80 pounds, got overconfident working out dips. Oh, blew a nerve, and now I'm set back 2 months and 8 pounds up. Now, I'm sorry to hear that. But just remember, it's you worked out and lost that 80 pounds, but it was your eating habits that really contributed. You did them both. You worked out and you ate right. But it was really your eating habits that led to this 80 pounds. All right. So, I don't know what you're contributing being 8 pounds up, but you don't even need to go to the gym for the rest of your life. All right. Now, I know you don't want to do that. You don't even have to do cardio. When you know what to do with your eating habits, there's no reason why you should go up in weight just because you stopped activity. Now, usually the two happen together, but you got to understand, what you're doing with this eating, especially why you can't work out as hard, because there's no reason that you're going to gain the weight back. You should understand that. Don't be afraid of that, but you got to do the work with your eating. I will be 62 years old in a couple of weeks, Mr. Legolas. No, I understand. You're still, you lost 80, you got hurt, and then you gained, since you've been hurt, you gained 8 pounds, and the net result is you're down 72. I get that. I'm just saying that as you gain this 8 pounds, and because of the lack of activity, because you're getting hurt, if you understand what you're doing with your eating, even when you're not active, you didn't even have to gain those 8 pounds. That's what I'm trying to draw your attention to. Certainly not taking away from the great progress they made. I wanted to continue even in your setback. All right, all right, all right. Okay, good, good. I got that. What your transformation so far. I just want to make sure that I do recognize that. Comrade, thank you so much for the follow. Let's see. Let me get some more of these questions here. All right. Gynecologist says, I just wanted to appreciate the response to me. You're very professional, and I really appreciate it. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for the follow, guys. So, Iris on YouTube says, are women allowed? She wants to hear information. Of course, everybody's allowed, right? But everybody has different values, priorities, things that are unique to them. I talk to older men, our lifestyle, our priorities, our concerns, and it all applied. So when I'm talking about the sets, reps, the eating plans, right? It is different, right? If I widen it out, like for example, got a lot of 17-year-olds, right? They've got a 17-year-old mentality, 25-year-old mentality, how they build muscle, what they think it's going to do for them, right? I would be compelled to give them a lot of life advice because of how they're approaching it. All right, that would be very distracting to my older guys. They'll think, yeah, that's nice you, Skip, but that has nothing to do with me. And it's distracting, even though we're talking about building muscle and losing body fat. All right, it would be better if I wanted to be a guru and help the most people is put that direct intensity to a 17-year-old, kind of be a big brother, father figure, teach him about life, along with training. He would get more out of it, and it would be a complete picture. If he's here and there, they can't even imagine what it's like at 60 years old, 17. So when I talk about injuries or, about eating, none of that would apply. It would be distracting to a 17-year-old. Just like if I tailor it down to 17-year-old, it would be distracting to an older man. All right. Where I just want to just talk to one group. There's 8 billion people on the planet, even though there's fewer older men who are trying to get in shape rather than this mass market. Someone getting on social media, they would be younger. But there's plenty to focus the attention on older men with the stories, the analogies, all right, the examples, whatever I use. It's a more effective way to teach, the more zeroed in you are, right? Well, the same thing with women. Women process this whole journey and what it's worth and how they see their bodies much differently than men. All right. I don't know that experience. I mean, I could study it. I could ask questions. I can learn it. Just like I talked to literally hundreds and hundreds of older men in the last 8 years. I know their experience. I could do a deep dive and understand the ins and outs of a woman and be an effective coach, teacher, presenter, influencer to them. But I haven't done that. And so could a woman learn from this? Sure. Right. Is it geared to her? I would suggest that you find, if you love my style, I'm sure there's a woman out there with the same high level of knowledge of training, nutrition, mindset, lifestyle, how to work it in, that can really come from a woman's perspective. All of this might be distracting, and I don't. If someone asks me question on women and this and that. I'm not going to BS or give a half-ass answer, right? So a lot of times women come in, and if there are women here, learn whatever you enjoy, right? I'm not going to kick a woman out, but I'm not going to start breaking it down for a woman when there's so many great women influencers here. Just like, there's a lot of 17-year-olds, 26-years. I like to pull them aside, and by the questions they're asked about fitness, I understand, and you understand, fathers yourself being older, man, there's other things that you would want to get into, right? But I can't distract myself from that, right? Everybody will suffer with a lack of focus. Coach, what's great for boosting testosterone? A couple of things. Weight training is great for boosting testosterone, what your ability to have it, right? Sleep, recovery from intense workouts, good nutritional practices, right? And even if you think you eat pretty good, taking it to higher and higher levels, right, for testosterone. Some might even say some of the foods that you eat, you avoid and you eat more of, right? And then reduction of stress. The more you can either reframe the stress, inevitable stress in life, or avoid it, right? Stress is a big killer. So those are the things that you can do. Exercise, weight training, cardiovascular training can help too. Backing that with rock solid nutritional practices from the trauma that you create with exercises, making sure you get enough recovery. And it's something separate, but sleep, good, sound, solid sleep, and avoiding stress. Those are some great ways of boosting your testosterone naturally. Now, if you want to ask me about, testosterone boosters that you buy over the counter, don't know of any that are effective to recommend you from that way. I would go back to what I said about lifestyle, training, and eating. And as far as testosterone replacement, talk to a doctor about that. There's pros and cons to all that I am not versed on telling you about, but I would just recommend that's a serious decision. It's not like taking a vitamin, but that's probably one of the real effective ways to raise your testosterone, getting it synthetically pumped into you. All right. Thank you for the share, the www. Angel, thank you for the share. Rich, thank you for the share. Funny. Thank you for the follow, LOL. Charisma, thank you for the follow. Del3, Inquisitive, thank you for the follow. Thank you so much for the likes, guys. I appreciate it. Every time you come on, the more likes that you just tap that screen, burn some calories. Tap that screen. Gives me energy to really keep on going for you. We're into an hour and 15 minutes right now because there's so much energy here, but it'll attract more men asking more questions, get more value in the time you spend, the more men. Some of the questions that you ask or you wouldn't have thought of, but someone else who is here ask it for you. So tap that screen. It'll attract more men to watch this show. Let's see here. Vincent, thank you for the follow. Kevin Grant Bahamas, thank you for the follow. Few tips for a 42-year-old male hitting the gym. On your way to the gym, watch the replay version of this on YouTube or on Facebook, Skip LaCour, right? So you get a rapid fire of all these questions because it all help you with your mindset, your focus, put some energy into what you're doing. I don't know where you are in your journey, right, to give you specific tips of what you need right now. But, you're the type of man who does what it takes to get what he wants. I do make myself available. All right, you can reach out to me. I do this. I do this with these shows, and that's what I do for the men who are sick and tired. Let me tell you that process again. You text me on the screen, the number on the screen. Introduce yourself. All right. You introduce yourself. Send me a picture. The picture tells me 1,000 words. Right. Then you go to talkwithskip.com. Talkwithskip.com. There's a questionnaire there. All right. Fill out that questionnaire. I've got a picture. I've got your questionnaire. I'll reach out to you. All right. And maybe spend 10, 15 minutes helping you zone in on your number one challenge. All right. All right. So we talked a lot about a lot of great things. I think the question of the day was about plateau and how there's so many different ways to keep it going, improving it in all the different facets of building muscle, losing body fat, being healthy and fit. That maybe you believing that you're plateauing, that needs some reframing. It may be just an illusion on your part. And I pointed out all the different ways how you're probably not plateauing. Again, if you have too much body fat, you probably can't see a lot of your hard work. That's going to be a key part to all this, losing that body fat, even if you look better than most. Right? Also, if you want to lose that body fat, for most men, they got to put a lot more focus and attention on their eating habits, even if they're eating, quote unquote, the right foods, whatever those are, even if they're using portion control. You got to take that to the next level, losing that body fat. Kelly Muscle. Man, I tell you, I love watching you. I love your journey. I love your energy. I miss you, man. Before last, when we met in Oakland, right? We were thinking about your family. I see your little ones growing up. What a great journey. I'm so glad that you're healthy. You're doing a lot of great things, energy, and I really enjoy watching you. So keep it up. Keep it up. You inspire me, right? And have fun with those kids, right? And, I think now, I don't know how long it was ago that we met. So my kids are now 11 and 9, and we're all in the sports. I know you played a lot of sports too. So that's the next adventure, getting them into sports and watching travel ball take over your whole life and drain. You better make that money now, because travel ball and sports is going to really, so the hidden costs involved in that of your time and energy is tremendous. So I know your kids are probably going to be athletes too. So, but I just want to tell you, it's great having you here. And yeah, I miss you too, brother, but keep on doing it. I watch you every single day. Show my boy, we watch you all the time. Hey, Callie, let's do some lives. I mean, it's a great format here on TikTok, where they have high quality split screen. So reach out to me, and we can make regular appearance. I'm going to start doing that with a lot of interesting people on my night show. So that'll be fun. All right. Much love right back at you. Callie Muscle, everybody follow Callie Muscle. Right, if you don't know who he is. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. We'll coordinate some. All right. All right, guys. Yeah, maybe I'm going to log off from here pretty soon, but maybe you can join me. I'm here at this time from 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. every single day. So we'll do something real soon. What I love about it is that you're so entertaining and bring so much energy, because, after a certain amount of sets and reps and building muscle and losing body fat, diet training, it gets kind of boring, right? I try to stick, to the basics, right? But you got to have some entertainment with it. And so that's what you do so well. All right, guys. All right, so that's going to do it for this Workouts for Older Men Live. Thank you so much for joining me again. If you're on TikTok, you just happen to come in at the end or the middle. The replay version is we're on my YouTube channel at Skip LaCour. Right? You can watch me on Facebook. Make sure you're on all of my social media platforms. Visit Skip LaCour often. skiplacour.com offer. A lot of these questions that you've asked, I made a half-hour video explaining them in detail, right? So check that out. Also, when you go to skiplacour.com, get on my email list. I've got a series of videos that'll come out over time to direct you to the right video at the right time, right? To take you along this process. Again, reach out to me. If you're interested, if you're the type of man who does what it takes to get what he wants, that's how you do it, right? You take a couple men, at least a couple men every single day when I do this live. So if that's you, that's what you're doing, right? Set the table. Again, we can accomplish a lot in 10 or 15 minutes. All right, so that's going to do it for Workouts for Older Men Live. Let's take on the day with a sense of urgency. We have to when we're a little bit older. We've got more time behind us than we do in front of us. Have a great day.